Welcome to another video from explainingcomputers.com. This time I'm going to try and help you out if you're suffering from RSI or repetitive strain injury. In other words, if you've got problems with your joints, particularly in your fingers, but also maybe in your shoulders, your forearms, your elbows, your wrists. Basically, if you've been doing lots and lots of typing for long periods, lots of clicking with a mouse, you can have pain in your joints. Now, I've been suffering from RSI on and off for about 20 years, and I've had three particular situations where I've had to make dramatic changes to keep myself going again, also linking in arthritis in more recent years. So this is my top 10 list of practical things you can do to deal with RSI. At 10, we have optimal workstation ergonomics. This means that, when using a computer at a table or a desk, the chair should be adjusted so that your forearms are roughly horizontal. Related to this, at 9, I would recommend the use of a wrist support, with the gel variety being the most favoured. At 8, consider a PC tablet and stylus as a mouse replacement. These allow your hand to assume a contracted position, with your clicking action not focused on your major index finger joints. Next, at 7, when you're really suffering with finger pain, try switching to what I call pen typing. Or, in other words, pick up 2 pens and use them to work the keyboard. This is slower than normal typing, but removes the key impacts from your finger joints and can provide considerable RSI relief. At 6, discipline yourself to take keyboard holidays, ideally spending at least a day a week doing no keyboarding at all. To help make this possible, at 5 we have voice input, with speech recognition replacing your painful fingers. As I explored in my PC voice recognition video, there are now many great voice input apps, including Drag and Dictate and Google Voice Typing. Moving to 4, anybody suffering from RSI should use a low-travel keyboard. Now pretty standard on laptops, used properly, these can significantly reduce the impact of each keystroke, which over time will reduce RSI pain. Many people, myself included, may have loved the feel and speed of an old PC keyboard like this one. But they did great damage to our fingers and now belong in a museum. At 3, we have the use of an ergonomic mouse, like this model from 3M. Despite what you may first imagine, this is not a joystick. Rather, the central column is rigid and allows the fingers to assume a neutral rather than an extended position during rodent operations. Clicks are then made by rolling the thumb. Over the years, I have convinced many people with RSI to switch to this kind of mouse, and they have all experienced significant pain reduction. Rising to 2, when all previous measures are not enough, I would recommend typing on a tablet. Done gently, this greatly reduces the impact stress on your finger joints and tendons. In the last few years, typing on a tablet has been one of my 2 most important weapons in combating my own RSI, with about half of the words in my last 2 books typed using the on-screen keyboard on either a Microsoft Surface or a large Android tablet. Granted, using an on-screen keyboard is slower, but that is part of the point. Finally, at 1, when you choose or need to use a physical keyboard, I would recommend wearing cotton gloves. Again, this slows typing. But more importantly, the gloves provide some cushioning between your fingers and the keys, so lessening the impact of each keystroke. Personally, I've found that wearing cotton gloves reduces traditional keyboarding pain dramatically, and even when the keyboard concerned is low travel. Back in the 1990s, I was one of the authors of this book, Essential Facts IT. And the way this worked, this was of course pre-mass internet access. If you were in a company you wanted constantly updated information, you subscribed to a book like this one, great big thick manual, and every few months we would send you new pages of your manual so you could keep things on the shelf always up to date. Now, the reason I mention this is because most of the chapters in this book are now clearly way out of date. All the stuff here on hardware and software has clearly moved on a massive amount since this ceased publication, I think, in 1998. However, one of the chapters I was responsible for and constantly updating was health and safety. And really, that hasn't altered. All the stuff in here about RSI and good ergonomics is just as applicable today as it was then. And for me, that's a very powerful reminder of the fact that whilst our computing hardware and software and services keep on getting better, or at least keep on changing, the human body hasn't, of course, altered. And therefore the attention we need to pay to computing related health and safety is just as it was 20 years ago and will continue to be into the future. So if you don't have RSI now, do think about the fact that you haven't got it. We feel lucky about that, but do think a bit about how you're going to avoid getting it over the years ahead. If you have got RSI, you have my greatest sympathy. I hope you found some things useful in this video that might give you a bit of relief, give you at least new things to try. But now that's it for another video, and I hope to talk to you again very soon.